In this video, we will search, sort, and lazy load more items using Angular. And we will do it in two different ways, in the frontend and also in the backend. Let me explain the difference. If I inspect and I'll go to the network, if I search in the backend, we will send a request to the backend. Also, if I sort, we will send another request to the backend. So every time we make changes here, we will send a new request to the backend and the backend will take care of it. In the frontend will be the opposite. Now if we search, we sort or we load more items, we won't send any request to the backend because everything will be done in the frontend. So this is the app that we will build, and you will see the difference between backend and frontend filtering. Before I show you the app, I would like to remind you that this video can be combined with other videos. So if you want to use Angular with any of these backend frameworks using MySQL or MongoDB, I provided some links in the description of this video. If you don't want to build a backend, don't worry, I have a solution for you. Also, make sure to check scalablescripts.com. Now let's use the backend without actually building it. So if you already build the backend, you can skip this part. If you don't want to build a backend, then first download Docker and download the right version for your machine. Once you download Docker and installed it, you can use this repository. I will clone this repository and I will open my terminal and run git clone this repository. Now it is cloned. Let's go to the folder, and here I will run docker compose app -d, and this will pull all the images and it will build our backend. Now let's wait till this is completed. So everything is ready now. We created the images. Still we need one last command, which is this command. I'll copy it, paste it here and run it. And now our backend is running on port 8000. So go to localhost port 8000 and this is our backend running in Laravel. Now let's start building the app. So let's create our app. Make sure first to install Angular CLI and now run ng new Angular search. I'll call the project and I will add a flag skip git, because the git will color our files if we make changes, so I don't want that. And I will add also Angular routing. I'll pick CSS. And now let's wait till it's completed. Now the app is created, so I will open it with my IDE. I'm using WebStorm, and to run the project, run ng serve. So S is short for serve, and this will serve our app on port 4200. So our app is running. Go to localhost, and this is our Angular app. Now let's add the template. So go to getbootstrap.com, click get started, copy the link, and we will add the link in our source folder index.html, and I will add the link here. And let's add also the template. Let's delete the spec files, and the template will be, I will go to examples and I will select this album example. I'll view the page source here, and we will copy only this div with class album, and I will select only the first product. So until here, I'll copy this and I will replace everything. Let's close also the missing divs, and this will look like this. We need to add also a header, so I'll go back and for the headers go to snippets headers here, and we will use this second header. Inspect this time because it's confusing when we view the page source, and I'll copy the HTML directly here. So I'll copy this and I'll add it here on top, and it will look like this. Now let's make some changes. So let's add here frontend and backend. So we need also the components. So let's create two components by running ng generate component frontend, and the same for the backend. So we will create two components. Let's delete the spec files, and we will add these components to our app routing module. So in the frontend path, so path frontend will be for the component frontend component, and the path backend will be for the backend component. So I will create also another component, ng generate component products, where here we will add this HTML. So we already have the HTML for the products, and it is this one. So everything inside the div with the class container. I'll cut this and I will paste it to the HTML. So this will be the products component, and both the frontend and the backend will use the products. So to use the products, we have to use it like this. App products. So we need to add the prefix app and minus the products component. So the same will be for the backend, and for the app component.html we will change this to a router outlet. So with this we can see we don't see anything now. Let's see what is the problem. So path cannot start with a slash, so that was a mistake of mine. So this should be the path, and as you can see we already have the path. So we are not going anywhere there because I forgot also to change these links. So this will be anchor links that will have a router link to frontend, and this will have also a router link to the backend. I will remove this class active here, and we'll say that the router link active class will be active. So once we go to this path, we will add the active class, so it will be selected. Right now we are not in the frontend and in the backend, so we can click frontend and backend. So we can move like this. Now let's get the products and render them here. So let's go first to the app module.ts, and here in the imports we will add the HTTP client module. So this module will enable us to send HTTP requests. So let's go to the frontend component, and here we can use private HTTP client. So we have the HTTP client now, and in ng on init we can send a request. This HTTP get HTTP localhost port 8000/API/ products/frontend. So this is the endpoint that we want to send the request. We need also to subscribe, and we will get a response. So this response will be the products. So I'll create here products as an empty array for the moment. I will create here a directory called models, and inside I will create a new model, so a TypeScript file called product, export class or interface better, product here, and this will have an ID as a number, title as a string, description as a string, image as a string, and also a price as a number. So this will be the product, and when we send the request, we'll get the products here as a product array, and we'll say that this products is equal to products. So we successfully set the products here, and in our app products component we need to pass them. So to pass them in the products component that we created, we need to add an input. So I will add here input. We need to import input from Angular core here. Products will be named. We'll have the products here, and by default this is an empty array. So this input, we need to use it here. As we can see, products is equal to products. So we are using that input and we are passing the products here. So we will do the same also for the backend. And in the backend, I'll paste it here, but there will be a difference, and here we'll send a request to products/backend. And the products won't return like this, but instead they will return, for the moment this will return data as any, response as any actually, and the products will be response.data. This is the actual products, because the products here will be paginated, and they will be inside this data property. And here we can send the products also. So we send the products in the front end and also in the backend. Now what is left is to use this product property here to generate them. So we'll do an ng for here. Let product of products, and for each product I will remove this. We will show an image here, and the source we need to put it like this, since we will pass here the product.image. The height will be 200. This is the image here. Here we can put the product title, and here we can remove this, and here we can put the product price. So that's it. We can define here the products. This can be a type of product array, and it will highlight also this price here. So with this we can see in the front end we are returning all the products, and also in the backend, but in the backend we are returning only 9 products because they are paginated. Now let's add the search functionality to search the products. So go to the products component.html and here we will add this HTML. So it will be a simple search here where we can put some words here, but it doesn't do anything. Now on this search we have to handle the event when we write. So key up, when it is a key up, we have to call a function here, and I will call it search. This will be a void function, and this will accept a parameter s as a string. So when we do a key up here, we will call search and we'll pass the event the target that value, and that's it. Now we get the function here, but what do we want to do with this? So first we have to create an output here. So the input gets data from the parent components, and the output will emit events. So once we search here, we have to emit events for the parent components to get them. So the output, I will call it set filters here, and this will be by default new event emitter. So we need to import event emitters. So I'm not sure. Import event emitter from Angular core. So I can put it here directly, actually. Not sure why my IDE doesn't help, but doesn't matter. So with this event emitter, we have to call it here. So this set filters emit, and the value that we want to send is this string, and that's it. So we sent the search, and now our backend and frontend will handle this search. Let's go to the backend first, and to handle that function we have to call it like this. So set filters, and we need a function to create it here. So I'll call set filters, and this will have the filters for the moment as any. This will return void, and we have to call it here. So set filters, and we have to pass the event. The event is the value that we sent, which is this search as it is. Now let's go back to the backend. We got the search here, and we want to send again another request to the backend. So I will cut this function. I will call it, so I'll make a function here. I will call it load, and this function will return a void, and we will call it here. So this load. So we load here, but still we need to have a variable here which is filter. So in the models I will create a new TypeScript file. I will call it filter, export interface filter, and this will have a search as a string. So this is a filter, and I will pass it as a value here, so filter. And we need the default value for the filter, so I'll create a default filter here, which is equal to search is an empty string. And we will pass the filter here, so this filter. So this will take care of the initial load, and also when we change the filters, so this is filter here, so we will set this load with the filter. Now we call it 2 times, but still here we need to make the changes for the filters when they are set. So we need to use the filters like this. For example, for the search, we have to pass search is equal to whatever the search is. Angular makes it really easy for us, and to do it in Angular, we have to create a variable let params is equal to new HTTP params. Don't forget also to import it from Angular Common HTTP. So what do we want to do with these params? First, we have to make a condition for the search if it is set. If it is set, then we have to recreate the params, which is equal to params set that the search is equal to filters s. So with this we set the filter, and we can pass the filters as an option after we send the GET request, which is filter, not filter, sorry, params is this params, but since they are the same value, I will use it like this. So with this we actually completed the search in the backend. So let's search in the backend. We can see that we are filtering items. So we can see less items, and they are the items that have this word. So it works fine in the backend. Now let's do it in the front end. To do it in the front end is really easy and simple. We have to create a pipe. So I will write here ng generate pipe, P for short. In the pipes folder, search. So we created a pipe, and what do pipes do? So pipes transform the data. So we need to transform the products ourselves. Once we pass a search value, we have to return less products. So now let's see how do we use them. So the first parameter is a list of products. This will be a product array. And the second parameter will pass a search as a string. And when we return here, we want to return the filtered products. So this will return also products. So let's filter these products. We have to return products, filter, product, and we want all the products that the title to lowercase because we don't want it to be case sensitive, index of, search to lowercase. This should be greater or equal than 0. So this is how we filter with products that this product title should contain this search string. Now we created the pipe. There is only one thing left, which we will add here, pure to true. So this, what are pure pipes? Usually pipes will run every time we make changes in our app, but we want to make changes only when the search changes. So this is the purpose of pure pipes. And now let's go to the front end. In the front end, we need to set the filters again here. And let's go to the products component.ts. And here we will set the filters. So set filters. We'll pass a filter as a filter here. And let's make this void. So now we will create an s as a string variable here, which is a search. And when we set the filters, we'll set this s is equal to filter.s. So we set this value, and now we have to pass that value in the products here as a pipe. So let's set here set filters event. So the pipe will be used like this. So we'll add a pipe here, search, and we will put the s as a value here. So now this search will transform the products every time the search changes, and it will filter them. Also, now that we added the search pipe, we need also to add it in our app module.ts. So this is automatically added, so everything should be okay. So it seems I made a mistake. Let's inspect. Cannot read property to lowercase of undefined. So my problem should be that this search value that I set in the beginning should be initialized, and I will initialize it as an empty string. And now we got all the products. Let's try to search them. As we can see, the search is working fine. So every time we search the products, they will be less products. So this is how the pipes will work. Also, I will add an OR condition here because we want to search also for the product description. So this is a description here. So with this we will get more items when we search. So we can see these items have this word in the description. So we searched products. Now let's sort products. So let's go to the products component, and in the HTML here we will add this drop down. So this will be just a simple drop down where we sort with the price ascending and descending. Let's sort first in the backend, where it is much easier. Here we will add a non-change, so change here. And let's create a function sort, where we will pass the sort as a string here. This is a void function, and when we change, we will set the sort to event.target.value. The value is this ascending or descending here. So we set the search, and we will set it like this. So this set filters will emit the sort like we did. But we have a problem with this, so we'll see it now. So first let's go to the backend component, and we will add first in the filter we will add the sort. Also, let's go back. We'll initialize the filter here, so sort is empty, and we will add the parameter for the sort here. Sort, and this is also sort. Nothing else will change. So if we sort, we can see that the items are sorted in ascending order. Also, if we do it in the descending, we can see the items are sorted in descending order. But what is the problem here? The problem is when we filter items, we can see that the sort disappears. So we sorted with price descending. Now we have to sort again, and the search. So every time we search and we sort, one will ignore the other. So how do we fix this problem? This problem will be fixed is if we pass this filter variable as a property here. So I'll add another input, which is filters, and this will be I'll do it filter as a filter. Like this. I'll remove the constructor and ng on init here because we don't need them. So we set the filter there and we have to pass the filters. So let's do it like this since there will be a lot. We'll pass here filter, just like this. And what do we want to do in the products component? When we emit an event, we want to emit also the previous value. So this filter, so all the previous values like this. So we'll deconstruct it and we'll change only the search here. The same will happen for the sort. So this will be all the previous values and the only the sorting will change. If we go to the backend component.ts now, here the only thing that we have to change is we will set this filter is equal to filter. So we have to change this value when we set the filter here. Or we could have done it here, it doesn't matter. So let's see now if that works. I will search with this word and we have 7 items. Now let's sort ascending. We can see these 7 items are sorted ascending, so it works when we search and also when we sort. So we added the sorting in the backend. Let's do it for the front end. First we have to add this filter to the front end as well, and now this filter here will set it. Actually I can remove it directly, we don't need it because we can set it directly here. Filter is equal to event. This is shorter. So when we set the filters, we directly will set the variable equal to the event, so we don't even need a function for this. And this search now will search with the filter.s. So that works. Now let's add another pipe for the sorting. So ng generate pipes sort. So we added the sort pipe and we need the same values here. So I'll copy this, paste it here, and this is a sort now. Also let's make the pipe pure to true. And now let's sort these products based on the sort. So we will make a condition here if sort is equal to ascending. In the end we will return the products. So if sort is equal to ascending, we will call a function products sort, and this will have 2 variables, a and b, which will be products, and we want to return either -1, 0 or 1. So these are the values that we want to return. -1 if a.price is lower than b.price, and this if they are equal, and 1 if a.price is greater than b.price. So what will we do right now? So I know a better function for this. We'll get the difference. which is equal to a.price minus b.price. And if the difference is 0, then we return 0. So we've taken care of the 0 part. Now how about the -1 and the 1? So with this we will use a little math. So we'll get the sign, which is equal to math absolute value of the difference divided by the difference. So this will return either 0, either -1 or 1. So this is the sign here. And if the sort is ascending, we return directly the sign. So with this, we can sort the items in the ascending order. And to do it, so let's go to the products frontend. We'll use the pipe sort here, and we will pass filter.sort. So here it will change nothing. Now let's see if the sort in ascending order works. So it doesn't, so I made a mistake. I think the mistake, so cannot read property to lowercase of undefined. The mistake is I forgot to set the filter like the backend. So we need to add this filter is equal to filter here. And with this, let's send again the price ascending here, and we are sorting ascending. We can also search an item, and the search will also return the items in the ascending order. Now let's also sort in the descending order, and this will be really simple. So we will make an OR condition here if sort is equal to descending, and the sign now will be like this. If the sort is equal to ascending, then we will return the sign. Otherwise, if it is descending, we'll return minus sign. And that's it basically. So now we can sort in the ascending order and also in the descending order. So we searched, we sorted at the same time, and now the last part is the lazy loading. So let's go to the products component.html, and here we'll add a button. So I will paste it here, and this is just the load more button. When we click load more, we will move to the next page. So first in the models, we'll add the page as a number here. We need to also set it here for the filter, which we need the page by default is 1. The same for the front end here. So we have the filter now, and let's go to the products component.ts, and when we click here, let's add a click. We need to add the function, so load more. This is a void function, and when we click, we will load more items. If we go to this function now, we'll set again the filters, and we will set the previous values, and the page will be this filter page +1. So we will increase the page. Now this won't work, we will see it, but let's add it also in the backend page here. So this is having a problem here because this needs to be a string. So I'll convert it to string. Let me show you why it doesn't work. So we are in the backend here, click load more, and we can see the items are changing, but they are not adding them more here. So we need to add them to show more items here. How can we do that? So we have to change it here on the products. So every time we load more items now, we will deconstruct the response.data, and we will also merge it with the products. So merging two arrays using the spread operator is like this. So we spread the products, we spread also the response, and we merge them. With this, if we load more items, we can see we are adding more items. So this works fine, but still we have another error. Now if we search, we don't filter the items. Actually, we add more items. Why is that the case? Because we are merging items now. So to fix this problem, first we have to fix it in the products component. Now when we search and we sort, we will change the page back to 1. So when we search and we sort right now, the page will reinitialize. So we will start from page 1. And in the backend component.ts, when we set the products here, we will make the question if filter.page is it equal to 1, then we'll return all the products from response.data. Otherwise, we will merge the arrays. So with this problem will be fixed. Let's see. Load more items. We can load more items. Let's also search. We can see that we are searching items, and we can sort them. Now here we are at the last page. We have to remove the button once there are no more items, but we will remove it later, because let's add the lazy loading for the front end as well. So let's create a pipe for it. So let's create the paginate pipe. And this paginate pipe we have to transform. So I will copy the same values here. I will return them here, and here we will send a page as a number. I will make this pure to true, and to paginate, or so to lazy load, is really simple in this case, because we have to return products slice from the beginning till page times 9, which is the per page. So I'll create a variable here, per page, which is 9, and I'll call page times this per page. So this is our paginate pipe, and we will use it here. So paginate, and we will send the filter that page here. So we have 3 filters, 3 pipes for these products when we send it to the component. And if we load more items, we can see we are also loading them here. So these are working fine. And the last change now is to remove the load more function once we reach the end. So we are at the end here. So let's go to the backend component.ts. When we get the response here, we'll get also the last page. So I'll create a variable. Last page is equal to 0. When we get the response, we'll set this last page is equal to response that met that last page. So we get the last page here. We have to pass it also to the app products. So the products will have another input, so we will have 3 inputs: last page as a number, and we will pass it here. So last page is equal to the last page. So we set the last page. Let's go to the product component now, .html, and we will show the button if ngIf here filter page is less than the last page. So that is a condition. If we reach the last page, then this button will be removed. Let's go to the backend now, and let's search by this word. We can see the button, it is removed. Also, if we click load more until the end, we can see it will be removed. Let's do the same now for the front end, and we have to send also here the last page. Here the last page will be a function, because we need to calculate it ourselves. So this will return a number, and this will accept a products as a parameter. So this will be a product array. And how do we calculate the last page? First, let's send the products. So the products, we will send it here. So the last page will be equal to last page, and we have to set the products. The products will be, I'll copy this and I'll paste it here. So we don't want to send all the products, but only the products that are returned from the search. With this, we can calculate the last page. So we return the products that are searched, and the last page will be math ceil products.length divided by per page. So I'll create here per page is equal to 9. We don't need const here, so per page is equal to 9, and this will be this per page. So with this, we'll calculate the last page. And now let's see if this works for the front end. So we can see we are not seeing the button now. If we put this word, we have more items, so we can see the button. Click load more, and the button is removed. So we filtered items using search, sort, and lazy loading in the front end and also in the back end. I hope you liked this tutorial, and if you did, also make sure to share and subscribe. Thank you.